Hello, everybody, and welcome to our second social media what? I feel like I should be saying social media what? That is the spirit. Where did all the comments go? Mariani, do a refresh. I was missing my comments when I started earlier also, so go ahead and do a refresh, and anybody else that needs to do that too. Um, so welcome to the social media what? Blab. Looking like a weekly Wednesday blab that is for Challenge Course Zip Tour Canopy operators that want to learn about social media marketing. Now, if you do not work for one of those work for the industry I just mentioned, you are also welcome here. Just know that that is the focus of this group. Is it started off as a presentation I've done for our trade organization, Association for Challenge Course Technology, and off of a kind of a social media 101. People had more questions that can't be answered in an hour and a half, so that's what this blab is for. Last week, we put the question out there of what do you guys want to learn about, and the people that were here said Hootsuite. So here's a little bit of a disclaimer I'm going to say before we get into Hootsuite is this might be more of intermediate skill. I'm going to start at the basics, even showing you how to log in and create an account for Hootsuite. But once we do some of that, some of the questions might come up a little bit more on the intermediate side. That's fine. We're recording it. I would say soak it in, and these are questions that you can start thinking about because somebody's going to ask me, I know it, about how do I load into Hootsuite mentions or lists, and some people are just trying to get that account started, and that's fine. You're still in the right place. We're going to start off slow, and we're going to go, and then next week's blab, we will be picking a topic looking like Facebook right now and starting with the basics of how do you even set up a page on Facebook. So that's what we're here for. Any questions before we begin? Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to switch my camera over to my desktop here so that we can see what we're doing. So you guys see what I'm doing here. I know it's not the best, but this way we can all do it at the same time. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to hootsuite.com, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in the comments here. So now if you click on hootsuite.com down here on the right-hand side on your screen, you will open up Hootsuite in your own window. So leave the audio on, you can listen, and then pop back in here if you have a specific question or you want to double check and see what I'm doing here. So I am at hootsuite.com. Hopefully you are in the same place. Also, the seat I'm going to leave open. That way if anybody has a question, you can jump right in and ask also. Alexis is helping me out watching those questions down there. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by showing you guys the plans here so you know what you're getting into. Okay, I'm really sorry, Mariani. It happened for me too, and the refresh seemed to do it. So welcome, Matt, or whoever's working with Matt. I see GT just signed in there. So here's where we're going to start looking at Hootsuite here. Is they have three basic plans. I'm going to say that we focus on this one on the left, which is the free plan. Okay.
Free is a good place to start.
And I am going to do one better with this here. If you can stick with me for 1 second. So we're talking about the free plan. If you want to go pro, that is also fine. The thing is, though, with anything else, they're going to ask you for a credit card, I believe, and then 30 days goes by, and you forgot to tell them don't charge me. All right. I'm going to do one other thing here to try and make this a little bit easier so people can see what I'm talking about. You guys can tell me.
Well, while you're doing that,
yes.
Just my 2 cents in using different pro features on different platforms is that I always start out in the free category and find out if it works for me. And if that platform is working for me, then I will consider doing the pro or whatever their name is for it, the business or the paid version of it, because most platforms are going to have some sort of platform that you can pay to get more features. And if I find that I'm using that platform in the first place and it's working really well for me, except it would be even better if I had X, Y, and Z features. Well, if I look into the pro version of it and I see that, yes, indeed, those features they do exist, I just have to pay for them, then I have to weigh whether or not it's a good deal for me and my budget. So, but I always start out with the free version because it may not work for you. It may not do what you want it to do. It may not do what you need it to do. So start with the free.
Even here, if you look, and you guys can give me comments, let me know, Alexis, if the zoomed in cursor works a little bit better. I know I'm half off the screen, but nobody wants to look at me anyways, versus having that full screen. So you guys let me know what you need.
Why don't you bring it down just a little bit? Bring your screen down just a little bit because your nameplate on the Blab screen is covering up the top part of it.
There we go.
Beautiful.
I got a mirror image. Thank you for pointing that out. All right. So speaking of what you're talking about, Alexis, if we look at this with the free plan, we're going to get 3 social profiles. What that means is think of it really basic. You have a Twitter account. You've got a Facebook account. You've got a Google Plus account. You have a LinkedIn account. So those are what it means by profiles to start basically. So let's say I have 5 social media outlets I'm on. It's only going to let me choose 3 of those. In addition, if I'm on Facebook and I want to have my personal account in there and then my business page, that's 2 profiles right off the bat. And I'll show you what that looks like when we're inside. Versus over here on the paid, up to 10 social profiles, enhanced analytical reports, bulk message scheduling. And you know what? I do have, for one of the organizations that I work with, have the pro account. And the main thing we're using on there is the 10 social profiles. The basic analytics and all those other things over on this side really are going to be good enough to start. So I'm going to go ahead over here and click sign up. Okay. There it is. So sign up. Okay. And I'm going to move my camera over because I feel like I have a split personality here. There we go. Okay. So when you hit sign up, it's going to ask you for which plan that you want. All right. Sign up. Okay, just bear with me one point. I'm already logged in, so it's not wants me to change my plan. So give me 1 second to actually log out of Hootsuite, which I thought I did. Now sign up. You know, best laid plans. I did all of this before Blab started.
You were being prepared.
I was, because I had this issue, and I actually talked with help and found out that I wasn't logged out. So dashboard is where I should still be logged into. All right, I'm going to do login. Create a new account here. Oh, you got to be kidding me. All right, I'm going to try one other thing here.
I'm going to answer Goose's question.
Please.
Do you have a specific email address for sites like these? I'm hesitant to give every app and site my general email, but it gets confusing using multiple emails. So in my case, I have a small business, and since we're using Hootsuite for our business, we use our business account. Partially just to make it easy on us. And I know that if I need to, I can easily just tell them, hey, no, we don't want your emails anymore. I can always delete my account on Hootsuite and not have to delete my account on my email address. It also is beneficial to us for it all coming into one email address, because then we don't have to check multiple email addresses. So those are the things that I've thought about when tackling this question on my own. Now, if you are part of a larger company, they may have a specific protocol that they want you to use. So check into that before you just go willy-nilly signing up for stuff if you're part of a larger company.
So I'm going to answer that, but what I want to ask is how many people throw me a 1 in the chat if you already have an account, and give me a 2 if you're
On
looking to
Hootsuite?
sign up on Hootsuite, and give me a 2 if you do not have an account. All right.
And Amy does bring up a good point that if you have Gmail, you can actually have multiple email addresses, their mail coming into one account. And you can do that with a lot of different ones where you forward emails to a single account. So if the reason is to only have one account to check, then you can always do that with your sign up emails.
Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to, so Matt, for you not having one, I really apologize because I wanted to go through it. Are you able to start to set up an account by clicking on the sign up now? I'm trying one more thing because I'd like to.
It's on it now.
Okay. It really is pretty basic, but one of the first things it's going to ask you to do once you sign up is to connect a account, and that's one of the things that I wanted to show rather than jumping into an account that I already have active with everything loaded. I wanted to show how to start from the beginning. So I'm trying one more thing, and if not, I apologize. We're going to have to fast forward ahead to that, and I will just log in from the beginning here. Okay, it's not letting me in, so I'm just going to go ahead and log in with an account I made earlier today, and we will get going from there. So I appreciate everybody's patience with me, as technology is always so much fun, especially when you're trying to do something live with it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and log in here. I'm going to, so the other thing, Goose, what I do is I have my own domain. So I do have, a lot of times I will sign up with things called, my domain is getthis.us. And so I created a email address, smm@getthis.us. And anytime I'm signing up for anything regarding social media marketing, I use that email address. And as Alexis was just mentioning, it then automatically forwards over to my Google account. But what I did this morning was Hoot. Let's see, I did SMM.
Ed, yes. You're going to put this replay on your website, right?
Yes, I will. Blog? Yep.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yes. And actually, it will be available, and I'll put the full link in there. I have a regular website and then a blog, so I'll make sure that it direct you directly to those. So, all right, let's see if I did this test. HS1. This.us. Okay.
Welcome, Jonathan.
Okay. All right.
So for the few that have joined us just recently, we are in the login process of Hootsuite.
All right.
And if you want to pop over to hootsuite.com, it's HOOTSUITE.
Okay.
Like an owl.
So what I'm going to do here
really cute logo.
is so Matt, when you first sign on, it's going to ask you to attach an account, and go attach whatever account you did.
Ed, we lost your audio.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Great. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to, I see that's not working quite right, so I'm going to do this. So what we're going to do is it's going to ask you initially for an account to sign in with, okay? And so here I just put my Twitter account in to start, okay? So what I'm going to even do is, the other thing is there's streams and other things, and not to overwhelm anybody with these things, I'm actually going to delete these. This is an account I don't use that much, So I'm just going to delete everything so that we can start from scratch together here. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to want to do, bye-bye, is I'm going to go up to the left-hand corner where I just logged into. Okay, and you guys can't see that. Wonderful. Let's try this. Technology on the fly. You probably are looking into infinity, and so let's come on over to this one now. Okay, a little bit better. Still a little cut off, so I'll do this. And then you can see what I see. That look good? Great.
There we go.
Keep on moving here. All right. So what I'm going to do is the first thing I need to do is add a social network. Okay. So I already have my Twitter account in there, so I'm going to click on add a social network. What I recommend doing if you work, that is, so I'm only seeing Twitter, Facebook, Google, and LinkedIn. Can you use other accounts like Pinterest? Pinterest, no, not yet. So I should be at the same place you are here, Goose. Now, there are some other things like YouTube, and I'll get to those next, but these are the basic ones, and Instagram was just added about 3 months ago, and there's some good things and bad things going on with that. We can talk about that. So we're just starting with these are the basics, and we will look and see if Pinterest actually has what's called an add-on for Hootsuite yet. So what I'm going to do is I want to add my Facebook account. So I'm going to click on Facebook. And one of the things that I'm going to recommend if you have multiple accounts for any of these, like I've got 6 Twitter accounts. Okay. Yes, you can change them later. Yep. Goose was asking if you can change accounts later. So what I did was I tried to make sure I was logged out of my Facebook account so it doesn't automatically grab it. But if you happen to be logged in, you didn't log in or log out of Facebook, it may automatically grab it. So I'm going to say connect with Facebook. It's going to open up this window. Yep, this is the Facebook account I wanted to grab. Okay. And now what it does, and this is where it might be intermediate for some people, is up top here, this is my regular personal Facebook account. I'm not using that for business, so I'm going to remove that from the list. Okay. Actually, let's see if it's going to, yep. So now here are different ones that I run. I have Experiential Systems. I have Tweak It, which is a page based on the book I wrote. Custom Cargo Nets, which is a page that I'm starting to build. And an engine treatment company I do with my wife and father-in-law. But for today, here's a new group. Okay. So I'm adding that. Okay. And for the fun of it, I don't want to add anything else because I want to keep my other networks open for my Google Plus and my Twitter. Because remember, I'm only allowed 3 because I'm on the free plan. So finish importing. Okay. And I'm going to add one other social network. And again, if I'm moving too fast for anybody, tell me to slow down, ask a question. And for the fun of it, I think, well, what the heck? I have not played a lot with the Instagram, so I'm going to connect with Instagram here. I don't know if I was logged out of that account. All right. Successfully connected an Instagram account. Uh-oh. Well, here's the deal. This could be the ACCT Instagram account. It could be the Experiential Systems Instagram account. It could be my photography Instagram account, or it could be my personal Instagram account. So I don't know that we'll actually get there, so I'm going to skip that for now. But that's basically how you add in your accounts. Okay, so that is step 1. The other thing you can do, which really I'm the only one that's connected to this account. I added my profile picture, so I guess I know who I am when I log on to Hootsuite. Where this is nice is through ACCT. There's a group of us that manage the social media together, so we then can see who's talking and some other things. But we're not going. That's advanced. We're not going into that today. But feel free to set up your profile just by clicking up here and editing your profile information. So quick little tour. Can I move this over a little bit and we still see it? Yeah, great. Okay, so quick little tour. Left side here, okay, this is if you use anything like WordPress, QuickBooks. Remember the old file tools, all that stuff that used to be across the top? Well, now it's all coming in on the side on most of these platforms. You are definitely welcome. I don't know if that's the thanks for the info, I'm leaving Mariani Landscape, or you wanted to, I'm being too specific here. Anyways, so that's how I navigate around. The other thing that I have up here is these are my networks. So up top here, if I get off the side, here are my different networks. And what I've done is this is where I compose a message. So right out of the box, I've connected my Twitter account. Okay. So I'm going to click on, let's see how I have it here. So see how there's if I'm not clicked on it, I have a 0 up here, and all of these are kind of phased out. If I click on it, it has a 1, and experiential ed is lit. If I click on the next one, okay, then if I compose a message, I am basically composing a message that if I hit send now, I'm going to send to my Twitter account, this Facebook group, and my Instagram account. Okay, but again, this is just we're going to go in and see how to compose messages. So that's what this section up here is all about. Okay, so for those of you that just want the down and dirty of being able to use Hootsuite to auto schedule tweets, okay, and I'm going to turn this off here because the default is going to look like this. Okay, let me get out of this and back in. So here's what it has. Okay, and I will do this really quickly. So teaching everyone about Hootsuite. Now here's the fun thing. I'm going to hashtag Hootsuite. Why another blab altogether? But because this is something that I want to grab the attention of anyone that is looking for Hootsuite information by putting that hashtag, and this is on Twitter. I'm going to grab their information over on, and I'm going to hashtag blab because I know there's people that follow that hashtag. Okay. Then what I could do is I could come back over here, and I'm going to grab the link of our show right now. I'm going to add a link, and this is something cool that Hootsuite does, and this is the basic information. Again, interrupt me if I'm going too fast for people. All I did was I went back into the blab, and I copied and pasted the link that's up there currently. And I'm going to click this magic button called Shrink. It took that long gobbledygook that was in my browser and turned it into basically a Hootly link. How do I know it's a Hootly link? And when I look at other people, ever notice this, that everybody's posting from ol.ly? So I didn't pay for the advanced features. If I pay for the advanced features, I could change that ol.ly to something like xp.ed to market and brand myself. Okay, that's what you get with some of the extra bells and whistles. I'm perfectly fine with this. It's socially acceptable to do that. So I have just composed a tweet. Now, the other thing that I want to do is I want to add a picture to this tweet. Okay, so I'm going to click on Attach an Image. Okay, select files to upload. Let's bring this in the whole screen. So I don't think that people want to see another picture of me. I'm going to go over to my downloads here, and all I'm doing is navigating through. Okay. Oh, hey, Mandy. I got your text saying you weren't going to be here. Wow, you are really out in the field. We're doing very interesting to do.
I am out in the field today.
Does she sound weird to everybody else, or is it just me?
There's like, no, the opposite.
It's opposite. I've been having it where it's been sped up. If I'm on my iPad, you are talking like a giant.
Both sound like you've been sucking.
Yeah, and you're slow. So in between the two of us, it has balanced out. So what I'm doing here real quickly is I'm going to go grab a picture, right? I don't like any of these pictures, but let's do this one. I'm not going to post this because it has animal in it, but it loads the picture in here to show me what picture I'm going to be tweeting out with everything. Okay, and then I click Send Now, and I have just tweeted through Hootsuite. Now, you can delete that right now. Other things that it's telling me is how many magic characters do we get on Hootsuite? Pop quiz? Magic number?
I don't remember.
Now I'm reading Must Smash Puny Humans.
Yeah.
Nice goose. We're only allowed, as of today, still we're only allowed 140 characters. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So it's telling.
But the good thing is it'll do
yes,
the
it will do the countdown for me. It's very hard to take you seriously, man. Yes. Yeah, it's a new
Would
character.
it be even better if I started quoting Barry White lyrics?
Yeah,
Come here,
probably.
baby.
See, what I can't wait to see is on the replay if
Come
you're going to sound
closer.
normal.
That's what I'm wondering.
When do I
Okay,
ever
never
sound
mind.
normal?
All right, so moving back over here, 66, and you may have read that Twitter has announced that they're going to increase to, I think it is a $10,000. $10,000. For those of you watching the replay, I'm getting totally distracted by the comments. They're going to do a 10,000 character limit, but that is being released slowly, so we're not going to worry about that today. I have 66 more characters that I could expand on my tweet. Next thing it allows me to do is scheduling. Well, I don't necessarily want to do this. Let's say I'm going to redo this one, and instead of all this, I want to put in here, join us for the next SMW lab. Okay. Well, I don't want to tweet that today. I want to wait a little bit, and I'll have all my promotional stuff ready to go, and I'm going to put that in for the 11th. So all I've done is I've come down on my calendar, and I've clicked the 11th here. It looks like 10th is still lit. That's just telling me that it's today. I know through Twitter analytics and other things, which is, again, a whole other topic, that most of my people are on in the afternoon. So I'm going to go with the 3:05 p.m. And then I'm going to go ahead and schedule this. Okay. And you know what? Looking at this, I am going to go ahead and put this over on the Facebook group also. So I'm just going to highlight that. So now this is where Hootsuite starts to save me time and money. Okay. By hitting schedule now, I have just basically composed a post for 2 different social media outlets. Rather than having to log onto one and create it and then going and logging on to the second outlet and creating it, I've done both. Okay. So that's a very basic thing that Hootsuite can do. Any questions about scheduling or composing a post for outlets connected to your Hootsuite account? Thank you, Mandy.
No, Ed.
All right. So moving on now, let's explore some of the other options. One of the things that I think is the next logical place, we'll get to streams in a second, I want to look at my publisher because that has to do with what I just did. Mm-hmm. The publisher in here, I can look at drafts. I could have saved that as a draft for later. I can look at my past schedule. Oh my God, Goose, you're killing me. But I want to look at.
I will.
This is going to be so non-funny when the replay has everything the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Move this over here for a second.
This is Madame Mathilde.
Honestly, you do sound like that. It's hilarious.
So let's say. I'm so glad I changed the time to make you could be here.
To the Hootsuite field. Hold on, somebody tell a little friend where I'm coming from the field. Look, there's the field.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to Alexis told a little bird. Good. We get the GIF in there. GIF. Sorry. So let's say I scheduled this blab, or scheduled this tweet and this post, and I need to change it. What I can do is I can come in here and go to the little pencil, edit group, and I can come in here and then I'm back to where I started, where I can change it all. Let's say I decide, you know what, I don't want this to go out to the social media what group. So I just clicked on it to remove it. I want to change the time to 6 o'clock. I want to change the date to Sunday. Save changes. And all of that has just happened magically. Okay. All right. Magic. Yes.
Like magic. So I do, because this is something that I felt it was really important to know about using Hootsuite for Facebook. And I'm sorry if I'm jumping in at an awkward to tag other pages when you do Facebook through Hootsuite. and what it does with
no, and I'm going to ask you really quick because you have some more experience with that. I know that we were hesitating on scheduling pictures for Facebook because it wasn't working very well. Has that been updated or fixed?
Yeah. We're talking about is if you go into Facebook to create a post and you want to put multiple pictures into a post grouping of pictures, and it shows up as one post within your Facebook feed. If you try and set up a post like that within Hootsuite, Hootsuite actually will put the book page with the comment, with that same comment that you made for each picture. So Hootsuite
is that what happened with the silent auction thing?
For posting groupings of pictures. Yeah, that was okay. Just weird. Right. I don't know what that was.
What, Mandy? Yeah.
But so just know that if you are looking to post a batch of multiple pictures in one post, that you might not want to use Hootsuite for that. You might still want to do that within Facebook. Otherwise, you're going to have a whole feed. And the other thing is when you go into Facebook directly to create a post, you can tag other pages. You can type the M, so their followers are also notified that somebody's talking about them, and hey, pay attention, which gives more just notified, and their followers are getting notified, which is really cool, and you can interact with other pages on Facebook that way. But within Hootsuite, it does not let them post. You totally can just type their name. But if you want them to be tagged on Facebook, you still have to go in manually after the fact and tag them through. For me, as the person who does a lot of Facebook postings, to find this out after I started using Hootsuite, it was a little bit like, oh man, I wish I would have known this. So you can manage your time in your posting.
Yes. So I'm gonna go over that right now with the real world application of what you're talking about. I just want to answer 2 questions.
Gotta go.
All right. You haven't. Where are you training today?
I am coming at you from Salem, Oregon. Salem Ropes, the Y-Way, and we're having a lot of fun.
All right.
Great host.
Well, tell everyone we said hello.
All right. Somebody's been there. Hey, Y-Way in Salem. Go. All right, guys. Sorry to pop in
Always
and
welcome.
distract you and pop back out and use funky voices. Have fun. I'm sure you're doing amazing things as always. See you later.
All right. So answering 2 questions, and I'm going to show you what Mandy's talking about here, is yes, hopefully she saw it before she had to take off. This will be posted on my blog. And then Ken, would if this then that be a possible workaround for the pic posting issue? What I'm going to say is I don't know. I've been experimenting with if this then that. And the other thing is I'm going to say that, well, we're not looking for workarounds right now. We want to make sure that we're covering what we can and can't do in Hootsuite. So I will give that a try, and I will report back on that, whether or not that works.
The secret group.
What's that? Well, hang on 1 second. Let's pause the recording for a second. Resuming recording. Oh, what happened there? Don't know what just happened. Anyways, moving on. So here's what I'm doing is what Mandy is talking about is normally when we post on a Facebook page, we put our pictures in, we can do that fun @ symbol, and it starts to, like if I wanted to do experiential systems, and I was connected through that account, it would load that basically it would be a mention. I know it's called mention on Twitter, but on Facebook, I would be tagging them in this post. Okay, one of the things that we found is that for Facebook, I'm going to try and upload these 3 pictures. I'm going to upload it to a group, and I'm going to do testing comments, and I'm going to send this right now. Okay, I'm going to jump over while that's loading. I'm going to jump over into Facebook here. Okay, and we're going to see what that then looked like over on Facebook.
It's 3 separate photos.
So what it has done here, and this is why we need to be aware of this on Facebook, is here's the group I posted it to, is now it's 3 separate pictures, 3 separate posts that all say testing comments. Okay, why is that a bad thing? Well, when we talk about next week Facebook and we talk about EdgeRank, what I've done is I've now thrown an anchor into my EdgeRank. So remember that comment for when we talk next week, because every post that I put up, Facebook's going to measure the interaction with. If I had gone into Facebook and loaded those 3 pictures in an album, I might get more interaction. Facebook would look at that whole album and say, wow, this Ed guy is putting up really good content. So that's one of the things to be concerned about. This is really good for doing a one-off post. I also find that it's really good for platforms like Twitter and Google+. Depending on what I'm doing with Facebook, I may or may not use it a lot for it. Okay, so that's the how we post, how we doing on time. Holy cow. All right, moving on.
3:15.
Yeah, so now the next thing I want to show is, and again, somebody interrupt me because that's the basic stuff. That's how we use Hootsuite on a regular basis. Now, you may have seen that there were some other things in here that were tools that were things like analytics. Quite frankly, I find the analytics through Facebook pages better. I find the analytics through Twitter. If you go to business.twitter.com, and we'll talk more about that when we talk about Twitter accounts, I find third-party standalone. I find the analytics so much better in other platforms that I wouldn't even worry about it, especially if you are just getting onto this platform. I wouldn't worry about that stuff. Okay, so what I want to show you is how you can use Hootsuite now to basically manage your social media. Okay, and what do I mean by manage? Well, the first thing I'm going to do here, and I find, again, this works best through Twitter, because Twitter is still, if you look at your basic Twitter account, you've got, I'm visual, so I'm going to put this up while I'm learning here. You are welcome, Ken. Make sure to email me. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, if I go into my basic Twitter account here, it doesn't give me a lot. Like Facebook, we've got stuff all over the place. Okay, but Twitter, basically, here is my one stream. Okay, I've got these things. Yes?
Today they said that they're going to start aggregating this stream on Twitter.
Yeah, they're going to, just like they've been saying for a month that they're going to go to 10,000 characters. I mean,
true.
Part of it is I believe it when I see it. Okay, so if I wanted to go through Twitter, I would have to go through all of this stuff. I would then have to go at moments I'm not going to care about. I need to go to my notifications. I need to check my messages, and I'm popping all around in here. Now in Hootsuite, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this plus button, and I'm in the stream section. You hit the plus button, and I'm going to call this, to start off, Twitter. I can rename this later. Okay. Now what it's doing is it's saying, what account do you want to have associated with the stream? Again, I've got my 3 accounts. So I could choose my Instagram, my social media Facebook group, or I could do Twitter. So I'm going to do Twitter. The first thing I'm going to do is keep it nice and easy, and I'm going to click Home. What does Home do? Well, this is what I was just looking at over here on Twitter. Okay? Not Moments, Home. So if I go to Home on Twitter, it's a little slow because I'm blabbing and I'm recording and all this other stuff. What I see here is basically what I see here now. Now I want to add another stream. This is where I start to monitor. I want to create a stream called Mention here. What is Mention? Okay, Mention is I want to know anytime somebody mentions at Experiential Ed, that's my Twitter handle, in a comment of some sort. So now I'm going to make this, I'm going to make the window a little bit bigger here. And another option here is to make this smaller. Oops. That's smaller so I get more on the screen here, more real estate, right? So now I have 2 streams without having to click on anything else. Here's what's going on in my home stream. Okay. Here's everybody that mentioned me. Okay. Now I can take it one step further, and I'm going to click Inbox. Now it has added Okay, remember I mentioned that I was talking with Hootsuite right before the blab? Okay, this is my inbox in Twitter. Okay, now my screen's a little small. I'm trying to keep this all on blab here. But you can imagine on my high resolution widescreen monitor, I can have about 4 or 5 of these open at once. So this can just be my basic Twitter stream. I've got my home stream. I've got who's talking about me and mentioning me. And then I've got my inbox here. Versus on Twitter.
Remind us how to find those new streams.
Okay. And what's going to hang out anytime I add it is they're all over here on the right side. Okay. Now, let's see. Now, what I can also do is what I want to see. Now, here, this is where it gets a little bit more specific. Is likes. Like this is not something I can do on the regular Twitter. I don't believe. So now these are all tweets. Okay, that I have liked by other people. Why is that important? Okay, now let's take a step back and think about I need to generate content on Twitter. Okay, for those of you that this is going over your head, don't worry about it. We'll get there. You can come back and watch. We're basically about 50 minutes, 45 minutes into the recording, so you can come back and get this, and I'll try and bookmark it on YouTube. So I'm on my phone, right? I'm not on Hootsuite. I'm not at home, although I can load the Hootsuite app. And I'm going through, and let's say I see the, it should be in here, American Camping Association wound up tweeting something, or North Star Camp. We will be tweeting quite a bit over the next few days from the ACA Camps Conference in Atlanta. Well, they're a client that I work with, let's say. And that's something that, you know what, it wasn't appropriate at the time, but I hit like on it. So what I'm going to do now is I can come in here, and because it's keeping track of all my likes, think of likes now as a bookmark in Twitter. I can come in here, and I can reply to the tweet. I can retweet it. I can, not necessarily like it. Sign tos if I had other people on my team. I can click here in a direct message or send to email. But I want to reply. So I don't have to do any of this in Twitter, or in this case, I want to retweet. I can retweet it, I can quote it, or I can edit it. I am a big fan of quoting tweets, okay? Especially if I want, if I just do a straight retweet, it sends it out to all my followers and it's done. But what I want to do is I want to let my followers know, whoops, I hit the wrong one, shoot. I hit retweet. If I hit quote instead, and I won't send it, it pops it up here. There's the original tweet. I'm going to come down, and I'm going to say something about looking forward to seeing all your tweets at ACA and whatever, and they're using ACA camps, right? I'm using the same hashtag. Now, when I send this, okay, and actually, you know what? We're going to do this too, I think. So I'm going to send that now. So great. I just sent it. It didn't ask me what network. I was doing a retweet, so it knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. Okay. Now, I'm going to open up another window here in the stream, and this can get really large, and I'm going to show you. So I've got all these streams going here. And, I did a quoted retweet, and I did a tweet. So when I click tweets over here, it created a new stream in here, okay, where it's all laid out for me. So what I can do now is, well, I know I made a mistake here, right? Delete. Whoops, that was fast. So what I'm doing is I'm going to the one that I didn't mean to hit a retweet on immediately. I'm doing the 3 bars on the right here, and I'm clicking my head's in the way. Yeah, let me know when my head's in the way. Okay. I meant on screen. All right, so I click the 3 buttons here. I delete. It's going to say, are you sure you want to permanently delete this post? And now it's gone. So again, I'm managing my Twitter account. I'm generating content for me to tweet out to my followers all through Hootsuite. Okay? So that's how I start to manage it. And as we discuss in future blabs, how we want to be tweeting and how we want to be mentioning other people, some of this will make more sense. But let me show you another advanced thing that I love, absolutely love about Hootsuite. Again, I jumped the gun there. So I'm going to hit come back to them in the stream section, and I'm going to click plus here. And basically, this is a new tab, so I can start to. And I'm going to call this one Twitter lists. If you don't know what Twitter lists are, we should do a blab on it when we talk about Twitter. What I've done in my Twitter account, okay, is I've gone and I've created lists, okay? Very quickly, the way it works, let me find, so I'm following all these people, right? Okay, so as an example, Social Fresh, okay? It's a social media marketing place that I follow, okay? Yes, you can laugh at Deadpool, okay? What I've done ahead of time is if I click on this little icon here, and again, we'll cover this future, there's a thing in here that says add or remove from lists. I've created lists, and I have them on a list called social media marketing, okay? Just so you understand, when I go into Hootsuite here and I now say I want to add a list, okay, here are all of the lists that I've created in Twitter. Well, I want to create a stream that is all the facilitators that I follow on Twitter, okay? So now, remember I had this home feed. You know, I'm just going to put it so they're next to each other now. Here is on the right now, on the right side where it says home, move that over. This is what, home is what my Twitter feed normally looks like. Now, by doing a list instead, this is what my Twitter feed looks like if I were to only follow facilitators. So you can see Christy Price is in here, Rainy Day Woman, who is, I can click on it and see who she is. Eileen Hood. And again, that's another nice thing of Hootsuite is I can click on a lot of this stuff in here to see more. So these, all of a sudden, I have a feed of only facilitators. Now, my home feed is great when I'm bored and I just want to see who's posting what, but this is where Hootsuite starts to be worth it for me. I'm going to get rid of this. The way I get rid of it is I just delete this stream, the 3 dots here. Okay. Next stream I'm going to add in here is another list. And now what I want to do is I want to follow courses. So these are courses, challenge courses, zipline canopy tours that I follow. Okay. All right. And what I'm looking for here, if you guys try, I might not have you look at that. I want some props for that, Matt, if you're still here, right? Isn't that you, Matt? Where are you, Matt? Right, Manitoqua? Matt probably had to leave. No, you're still here, man. Okay, so if you look, I follow Camp Manitoqua on Twitter. So now, again, these are all courses. So again, if I am, like, look at what I'm doing here on Blab. If I want to cater towards courses, now this I can hone in here and see what's going on with all the courses. And again, I can keep on adding lists till, you know, as many lists that I have. I want to have all my social media marketing people that I follow, then that's in here. Okay, so let's say I'm going through here and I find something that I think is Hootsuite, how to convince your boss to launch a social, you know what, my followers on Twitter, that is something that they probably would be interested in. I'm just going to do a quick retweet and be done with it. And now I've tweeted that out and I've generated some content for my day. Okay, you've been there. No, I hope I just didn't delete the comment. Great. All right, great. All right, cool. That's fine. I multitask all the time on Blab. And again, I know this is more of a audio one here too, but I wanted to show some people some of these things. So that is how I use Hootsuite to, one, be able to post, put my posts out there. Again, I use it mainly with Twitter. I use it to generate content. People all the time are asking me, how do you generate content to post online? Well, I retweet things from Twitter, and also sometimes, you know what, there might be something on here that might be, so let's say Eric Fisher's a good guy, but let's say, you know what, my followers really don't care who Eric Fisher is. Eric Fisher doesn't care who my followers are. He really does, so I probably wouldn't do it. But what I could even do is, for generating content, I could open up that link in a new window, copy that link, pop back into Hootsuite, throw that link in there myself, and generate a tweet off of that. Okay? Because there are a lot of people that I follow that are outside the experiential field that might have good content. Okay? And we can talk about the ethics and all that another day. If it's something, hey, I want to share stuff that's valuable, especially if it's a challenge course that's posting this information, I'm going to retweet that with their information. But if I'm generating this content and it's something that, you know what, it's a follower, it just is outside of our field and it's good content. Personally, I don't have a lot of concern. And again, people can go ahead and direct message me on Twitter and we can have a conversation about this. But again, if my followers are going to be 5 steps removed from the content anyways, I don't see a reason why not to generate content in this way. We use Scoop It and other content generating sites the same way. And we do that to find the content that's out there and share it. That's what these services are there for. Which brings me to the last thing that I'm going to show, and I think that I'm going to start wrapping this blab up or open it up for questions here, is the last thing. I'm going to go and do a new window here, and I'm going to call this one search. Okay. All right. Loading that up. What I'm going to do is, this is exactly what I'm talking about, so I want to search for content. So I'm going to click on the search, okay, here, and I can do this. Let's say I want to be in the loop and knowing what's going on, because I think that ACCT's Twitter account, wow, whoever's running that account provides the best information. And as a social media marketer in the field, I want to make sure that I follow what they're saying. So I'm going to do a search for the hashtag ACCTinfo, okay? What that's going to do is anyone that posts on Twitter now that uses, okay, that hashtag is going to come up here. Now, there are some other things that I can do. Is I can have this, a lot of people haven't posted today, and I can put some preferences in here to edit the stream and tell it how long back I wanted to go. Another great example is that if you're a challenge course or zipline canopy tour, you can put a custom hashtag in here, like we were talking about this last week, Moab Zip, right? And I can even put in, yes, allowed to know where I am, but I can even put in that I want tweets that are in a 10-mile radius from where I'm sitting right now, okay? So you can get really, really, Alexis, I lost you. You can get really, really specific with it, okay? One other search that I'm going to do is I'm going to do in here, I'm going to do zipline, right? Okay. Look at that. There's more people hashtagging zipline today than there are people hashtagging ACCTinfo. Again, what's your niche? What are you looking for? Okay. And also, I'm going to hashtag team building. Okay. And again, this does 2 things for me. One, the zipline, I might see some cool things. Also, if I'm a zipline marketer, I might see some good ideas for things that I could be doing, especially if I look in here and I see that Kissame's got 3 retweets and said, what the heck are they doing to get these retweets in here? Okay. And I can start to quote unquote spy on competition, but it's really not spying. It's just finding out what works for them. Same thing with team building. If I'm developing a new team building curriculum, I might want to get a pulse of what people are thinking, because I may find that, you know what, team building might not be the best hashtag for me to use. But if I'm seeing things that are okay, yeah, this looks like some of the stuff I'm going to offer. Okay. Mark, you know what? I follow Mike, right? All right. And he's using that. Okay. You know what? This could be a good hashtag. So just from a research standpoint on hashtag usage, this can be good. And also, if I want to generate good content and find good things, I might find some more stuff that I can retweet out. And again, let's say I like what Mike's got here, right? And again, I can go ahead, do the retweet, and I can do whatever, the quote. It's going to pop me back up here, and I don't have to send this out today. I can schedule it for tomorrow. Okay, Whirlwind, I know. I wanted to make sure we had the basics down, but I wanted to give some people some other ideas of what you can be using Hootsuite for.
And remember, you can always come back to this recording.
Yes.
And after you've got your feet under you a little bit on Hootsuite, and then come back and dig a little deeper with this recording.
Yeah. The other thing that you can do is, I forgot to mention, people are asking if I was going to put the recording on my blog. Absolutely yes, it will go up on my YouTube channel. But here's the other thing is, if you just come back to the same link that brought you here today, whether it was the bit.ly, a tweet that I sent out, whatever, the replay will be sitting here waiting for you. What's nice about watching it here for me is then I get to capture some of the statistics, and it tells me if somebody has watched the replay. Just lets me know if the content is good. But you know what? I've got those analytics over on YouTube and other places too. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to open it up at this point for what questions do you guys have about Hootsuite? Maybe something I glossed over. Maybe something, does it do this? How does it do that? I've got about 10 more minutes I can hang around, and then I've got to get going myself here. So, and again, stick around afterwards, after I stop recording, for a very special announcement for those of you that weren't here at the beginning. So what questions do you guys have? Don't worry about hitting the /Q. You can just type them in, or the seat is open if you want to jump right in and ask.
Yeah, come on in.
Please feel free to.
And maybe you can sound like Hagrid's girlfriend.
You know, I think it is. I think it's a glitch with the iPad and iOS, because when I'm on my iPad I was watching some blabs at a Starbucks yesterday, and everybody sounded like they were on helium, and I was scared to jump on. Yeah. But
probably
I understand now why.
Hey, do you want to flip over to your main screen so that we can do our mug?
Oh, yeah. Let's see here.
Since we're both sitting here with our mugs.
Our coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Transfer over there. All right. Now, I Mickey Mouse, I'm going to go with his hero, even though I don't have Batman. The mug was not clean, but I believe that I can throw Mickey Mouse in that.
It's okay. I mean, I have my giant mug again. So.
Okay. So everybody right now tell a little bird, hit the tweet button as we sip our coffee. Okay. I'm going to keep recording. That's way too much coffee to drink at once.
Yeah.
Well, they've changed it around here. You have to add the link separately.
Yeah.
So make sure you click it. Thank you, Alexis. All right. And I'm just going to type in here. Well, okay. So I'm not seeing too many questions. So I think we're going to wrap up today.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing is everybody that's watching right now is through Twitter. So what I'm going to encourage you to do, whoa, that's going to be a weird looking GIF. I call them GIFs. I call them, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, because we're side by side, so we've got the Oklahoma effect going. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna wrap up the recording here. So I'm gonna say the official goodbye, and then we can talk for a little bit longer here. Yep. All right. So thank you, Alexis, for joining me as co-host today. Really appreciate you keeping me on track here. Thank you, everybody, for the wonderful questions, wonderful comments. Again, you can reach me through basically every social media platform through Experiential Ed. That is, so if you go to facebook.com/experiential ed, Google Plus, Twitter, any of those, you can find me. My Facebook or my website is experientialed.com. Okay,
and I'm the same. I've got X37 Adventures on.
Yep, throw that in there. We will talk at another blab. The importance of marketing and thinking about what you're going to call yourself on each platform so you don't have to rebrand yourself. So thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out with us today. Really appreciate it. Stick around after I stop the recording for a secret message. And thanks again, everybody. We will see you, and we will be doing the blab again next Wednesday. Make sure you click my name up at the top here where it says Ed Kaplan so you can subscribe. And as soon as we schedule next week's blab, you can be notified about that. All right, everybody, have a great week.